Welcome to Nightlight. Step away from the mainstream and gather around as we enlighten the world and our realities and travel this cosmic journey we call life. Join us as we share with you and provide that beacon that can guide us all to a better way. Explore with us as we examine a metaphysical montage of spiritual insights, covering everything from the mundane to the magical, UFOs to unicorns, and everything in between. This is a time of awakening, of sharing and evolving, of spreading our wings and soaring on the cosmic breath of creation. Come and join with other light-minded spirits as we weave our lights together to seek understanding, enlightenment, and, with a little luck, some wisdom. This is Nightlight, a reminder that you are never alone. And now, here is your host, the lovely, delightful, insightful, and all-around great gal, Ms. Barbara DeLong.
Well, welcome to Nightlight, everybody. It's so great to be back here on Blog Talk again. And it's a delight to, of course, be working with my faithful companion, Tonto Jeannie, and also the ever-faithful Michele. And Michele really doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to give her one anyhow. She is probably one of the most amazing astrologers I have ever met. And I've been around in this field for over a half a century, which makes me sound terribly old, but I started in the womb, so it explains how I sound so youthful. And I have probably met hundreds of astrologers in my sojourn through this time frame, and I have never met one that was as accurate, as concise, as compassionate, as intuitive as Michele. And what I love about her is she does everything with laughter, so that you feel so good after she's told you whatever it is she's going to tell you, that you don't really care what she tells you because you have such a good time listening. And that's a perfectly wonderful kind of person to have give you advice, information, and console. So welcome to the show, Michele. How are you doing? Michele? Okay, her microphone's on. But
try it this way. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, are you off mute?
I wasn't on mute, so I don't know why that was working like that. I was using a headset, and I thought the headset would work just fine, but I guess it doesn't. It did the last time we worked. That's okay. Maybe I can hold the phone and still work. So
was it not all the way plugged in?
No, because I could hear you fine, so I don't know what the problem was. But I'm not going to worry about it. We'll go forward.
I have lots of argues with headsets. I can't tell you how many I have just tossed and said, no, thank you, not going to do that again. Unbelievable. Well, we work in different time zones, so it's always, I always send you an email and remind you, and then I keep thinking, is this, I keep thinking, she's got it now, it's going to be fine, and then I think, maybe I should call. So
always a good idea. I got your email, but I still screwed up on the time. So
that's amazing. Well, that's okay because we're here, and there are people in the chat room chatting, and there are people on the phone lines waited with bated breath to hear the wisdom and the mystical, cosmic, conscious advice you have to give them. I mean, really, it's such a joy to have you on the show because you have such amazing insight. It's really what I love, especially, is that when I throw the cards down and I hear you doing the reading on the chart, it's so similar. It just is it's so much fun to see that there is a synchronicity between the two modalities, even though I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I would be hard pressed to actually, ramble off all of the houses of the astrological chart, or the signs for that matter. And I certainly don't understand what the squiggles are. So unless you showed me a picture, I'd be totally lost at figuring out what the different signs were. So you are an expert in a field that I respect but don't want to tamper in. So.
Yeah, well, in all these years, having studied metaphysics, being an astrologer, also being a metaphysician, I have always seen that they both work hand in hand. Astrology has one advantage over metaphysics, and that is that astrology can usually pinpoint time better. But when a person is interested in information, let's say they just met a guy or a girl and they want to know more about them, astrology can't really give them that information, unless, of course, they have birth data, which you usually don't when you just first meet someone. But metaphysics, of course, can give them all the answers. So one has a little advantage over the other in different areas. But otherwise, they just come together perfectly.
Well, they do, and I think that it all depends too on the level of consciousness of the people that are doing the reading, so that there is that synchronicity too, because there's a level of consciousness there as well, and it just all sort of flows together. But we're lining people up pretty fast here, so I'm going to pull the first one on. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, we've got Lisa here. Hi, Lisa, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm Lisa,
Hi, Lisa
from Florida. Hi.
What is your date of birth?
My date of birth is May 27, 69.
May 27th, 1969. You're born the same day as one of my brothers, and I call that, by the way, just for your reference.
Really?
One day out of the year that God made unique individuals. That's his mold-making day. Everyone who I've ever met born on May the 27th is so unique, they just don't match anyone else. So that's my opinion.
Oh.
I think they broke the mold after they made you. That's his mold-making day. Anyway, what time were you born, Lisa?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 2 p.m. No, 2 a.m. I'm thinking.
2 a.m. Think? Well, we're going to go with 2 a.m., but just for your reference, if the time is off, my timing will be off. So there are things there. The time actually is very important in astrology because it actually places different houses get different rulerships if the time is vastly off. But for every 4 minutes of difference, we have a degree of change on the ascendant. So that can give you an idea how off it could be, depending on, AM to PM would be just a flip. But like 15 minutes after, it makes quite a difference. And if you're born where the ascendant is already at 15 degrees, we could almost push it into the next ascendant. So, but we'll give it a shot, and I'll ask you a few questions. So, where were you born? What was the city of your birth?
I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Kingston, Jamaica. You don't have any accent at all that I can
hear.
No,
no, lost that a long time ago.
Okay, well, I didn't lose mine. I was at the grocery store earlier, and someone just said to me, "Are you from New York?" I thought, "Oh my God, I didn't even say anything." Oh well, it is what it is. Funny, we have different experiences, but the Jamaican accent is so adorable. I hate that you lost it. Anyway,
if I talk to someone with an accent, then it comes out.
Right, it'll pick back up.
Yeah,
mine gets that way. So look chart, I'm going to say something to you because this chart gives me a 3-degree Aries rising. So remember what I said, 4 minutes can make a difference? So if we went just like, if we went back 12 minutes, you were born 12 minutes before 2 a.m., you would have a Pisces rising. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, see if I can kind of ballpark this. Do you have, as compared to everyone else in your family, would you say that your hair has red highlights?
Red highlights. I had kind of reddish hair when I was born, but it faded away to dark.
Oh, yeah, okay. And did your mom, at any point in time, any of your parents, aunts, or uncles say, when you were born you had a very large head?
Maybe. I think I do when I was born, yeah.
You may still have a large head. I mean, Aries rising, large head. These are odd things, but when we go to rectify a chart, they're the crazy kinds of questions I ask people. So if you fit those two things, you probably do have Aries rising. How far into Aries, we don't know. But taking a look at this, what are the questions that you wanted to ask, or what do you want me to focus on? Let me put it that way.
Career.
Okay, so career. Well, just looking quickly at this chart, you've got Capricorn at the midheaven, which means Pluto right now is going through your 10th house, and it's been going through that 10th house for a little while now, for a couple of years actually. And when it first went over that midheaven, you more than likely either had a demolishing of the career and looking for a rebirth of it, or it changed over, or you were empowered through it. One or the other likely happened. Did you have a big change in the last few years?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we got the right chart then. And what's happening now is Saturn is getting ready to go over this. By the end of the year, Saturn will go over this midheaven that you have. Around December, 27th or something like that, it should go right over it. And when Saturn goes over it, let's take a look and see how it activates in your chart. What the great news is, you were born with Saturn in 3 degrees of Taurus, so when it goes over, it's going to make a great trine to Saturn. And since it's the ruler of your house of career, it's also the ruler of your wishes and dreams. You have an opportunity here that's going to open up, and it's with Saturn, it can be an opportunity for something very stable, very secure, an opportunity that's long-term. It's almost like a retirement is actually the kind of statement it's making. It's almost like it's an opportunity to either retire or to retire into something secure, so a new kind of career that may be a very old-fashioned kind of career, something with a lot of where you would be very much in control. So what is the doorway that you're looking at? You must be already looking at it. This is around the corner.
Oh, okay. No, well, I didn't want to continue to do what I was doing. I wanted something new.
That's okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But anyway, this is where the doorway is, and when that activates, you're going to scoot in. You're looking at the beginning of January. I can bring this to where we get it exact. Give me a second here, and we'll take a look. Because that's going to be likely in January when it really comes into play, if we have the right chart. I'm assuming I have the right chart. Let's see here. Oh, no, I have an error. Saturn is going to go retrograde, and I have not remembered that. But that's okay. We're going to go back and figure out exactly where in time, because it's not going to go retrograde for that long. Let's see here. So it's going to give you a delay. It's not going to give you that opportunity as fast as it should. But you're looking about 14th of January. So I thought it might be a little bit sooner, but around the 14th or so of January, if this chart is exact. And if it's a little bit later, then it might be, a few weeks after that. But that's the zone you're looking at. And when that happens, let's see what else is activating, because there may be some opportunities. You've actually got some other things that are going to open up when Saturn finally gets to the end of that Capricorn, which is about 2.5 years later. It's not around the corner. But when it does, you're going to have some incredible doorways open, because as it gets to the end of Capricorn, you've got activation of your progressed Jupiter and activation of Pluto, activation of your node, your south node, and that's key. These are coming out of your house or the workplace. So there's opportunity here for you to finally move into what you have been training for in past lives. The South Node is very interesting. It tells us what you are bringing into this lifetime from past lives, and you were born with the South Node in Virgo, in the house that Virgo normally rules, which is the 6th house, although it appears to be an intercepted chart. Again, timing could be off on this, but assuming that it is correct, it comes through Leo, and you'll understand this better than I can. This indicates that your workplace would be a place that may have to do with service, may have to do with health, may have to do with employing other people, could even have to do with military, although coming through Leo on the outside, I kind of doubt that. But nonetheless, it could. And over your lifetime, it may have covered all of these. But
okay.
So you've come from a past life experience where you already have experience in all of this. You're a person who has done charity work and service work, and your natural inclination is to help others because you come from a past life experience of already doing that. Your south node, your north node, of course, is at the opposite end, and it's in Pisces. It's in the 12th house, talking about past life dreams and wishes that you have put forth, and that you will hopefully manifest in this life. And those are really a spiritual aspiration in Pisces in the 12th. It's a statement that I want to come out of the closet. I want to experience life differently than I have in the past. When we have it in Pisces, we tend to, we call it in astrology the closet, because people who tend to be more Piscean, they don't really want to be seen out front. They are not the ones that want, rarely do they even win the lottery or anything else. But having the North Node there says, in this lifetime, I want to push forward. I want to go beyond. I want to release the karma that has blocked me over lifetimes, and I want to step into my more spiritual self. So it's very exciting, because the activation of the South Node means also activation of the North Node, so a doorway opens up for you as Saturn comes to the end of its traveling through Capricorn. The last time it traveled Capricorn that you can go back to refer to, it will be different, of course, because this time around Jupiter is working with it, trying to help it along. Pluto is also pushing it. So we've got tremendous power working with Saturn and Capricorn at this point in time. But the last time this kind of experience happened would be about 28 years ago, and since it's 2 years ahead or a year and a half ahead, you can change the time frame accordingly. It's never exact. Saturn's travels are never exact, so it's usually between 28 and 30 years ago. Okay?
Oh.
So hopefully that will help you think about that. Looking, your sun and moon have been together here for the last few months, and that has gotten your the masculine and feminine sides of yourself really working together. So your emotions and your ego working together to get you what you want. It's also made your home a better place to experience, and may have made you feel or understand better through the dream state or through a visionary state more about your mom and dad. So those are things that have been happening for you. Now the moon is moving on, and in 4 months' time, let's see, that's correct, 4 months? Yeah. 4 months and maybe a few days. 4 months' time, your moon will move out of Cancer, which has been in for the last 30 months, well, 25 months, and the statement is that you have been in this space where you've been perhaps nurturing more, concerned more about your home, about your mom, your family, spending more time with them, or working towards that, working with them in some fashion. But soon, in just 4 months' time, the moon will then go into the next sign. And when it goes into the next sign, it goes into Leo. So you're going to have the desire to socialize more, to get out more, maybe even fall in love, or could fall in love with a hobby. Falling in love doesn't always mean with another person. could fall in love with an animal, a hobby, or just a whole new way of doing things. At any rate,
I hope it's a person.
hope it's a person, then that opportunity to make it. So I say
Michele,
go for it.
We got to move on.
I know we got to
Michele.
move. I'm going to let you go there, but I will throw one more thing in since you said you're also interested in a person.
Yes.
Add 4 and 10, and that's 14 months. At that point in time, there is a huge opportunity for you to possibly meet somebody. So go for it.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Michele. Great.
Take care, Lisa. You have a fabulous night.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Sorry.
You could go on forever.
I know. Everybody's chart, that has everything about them in it. And that's why I asked them to help me focus, because otherwise, Anyway, I'm ready. Who's next?
Okay. On next to Maria. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Oh, hi.
What's your date of birth, Maria?
Yes, May 15, 1942.
May 15th, 1942?
Yes.
I did get that right. Okay, goody. And time of birth?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Any idea? Did your parents ever say it was early in the morning or late at night? Or
No. I don't know.
You have
I
no
don't know.
idea. Okay,
no,
well, we're just going to put it in as noon. And so forgive me, my timing may not be right, and some of the things I say could be pretty much off, but we will be able to work with the transiting aspects and look at it from kind of a surface level. So where were you born?
Palermo.
I couldn't understand. Excuse me? Palermo.
Italy.
I thought this was an Italian accent. I recognized it, Palermo. Okay, so you're born in Palermo, Italy. Okay.
Yeah.
And my family, I come from an Italian family, so I have.
What part of the coming?
Well, my mother's side is from Napoli, and my father's side is south of Bari, or I think it's actually west of Bari. It's the Trajano.
Hey, that's beautiful. Napoli is beautiful.
Yeah, my brother teaches at the University of Bari.
Oh yes, beautiful.
Yeah, he's a professor. Yeah. So let's see here. So let's see, Marie. What is it that you want me to focus on? Unfortunately, I have no guarantee on house cusps, and to rectify it, I'd have to go through all the signs. So I'm going to stay away from doing that. But what would you like me to focus on?
Let's see my finances. I'm going to go in Italy.
So are you looking at maybe travel and also finances? Unfortunately, without knowing the time of birth, I can't really pin down finances, so I'm going to do the best I can given what you have given me. So let me just take a look and see if we've got activation of any of the planets who we usually look to for money. But the difference is that normally in a chart, we look to see who rules the second house. That's normally the house of money. And you were born with the sun and the moon together. Your mother and father really loved each other. That's just an unusual, we don't usually see that. That's always nice to see. So you were born with Jupiter in Gemini, and so Jupiter's going into Scorpio, not going to be a lot of help for money. Venus is in Aries, and Jupiter going into Scorpio is not going to be a lot of help for money there either. But the good news is Jupiter going into Scorpio is fabulous with, it's pretty good. I won't say fabulous, but it's pretty good with your sun and your moon. And going into next year, you're looking at that activation would take place. And Saturn, of course, is going to, but Saturn's about 2 years away before it will activate your sun or your moon. Pluto has been, will be activating them in about 2 years as well. Actually, 2020 will activate. Is either your mom or dad, are they still alive at all, or did we lose you? Are you there? I think we lost Marie.
She's still connected.
Maybe she can't hear me. Okay, but at any rate, I will go forward and say that when Jupiter gets to probably around August of next year, it will start to activate in a way that balancing money may be there, and there could be activation in a way that might bring some money in. I don't have any key elements here to say that money is going to be really good. And not having the right wheel, I'm so limited.
Yeah, I threw cards too, figuring I might be able to
help
kind of see something that looks like that there was money coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see huge amounts of money coming, but I do feel that there are at least two sources of income or money coming in. And when I look at the June time frame, which for you would be the third house, it feels like there are magic and miracles in the third house. So it feels like I don't feel that there's going to be a drain of money, and I don't feel that there's going to be she's not going to have to tighten her belt. It's just that I don't see her being able to loosen it until probably the June time frame.
Yeah. Well, there's activation coming up in late March, and then we have the opposition finally arrives around September. So when I said August, I was off by about a month there. So at that point in time, still though, if I was going to look at it and say when will she definitely have some money coming in, I'd say as shortly thereafter when Jupiter goes to December of 2018, then there's opportunity. That's when the doorway just opens up, gates open up, and money is very available. It's also a period of time that if I don't know if she can hear me or not, I would tell her also be careful, don't overspend during that time. I more than likely to do it. But that is a beautiful grand trine doorway opening of money. And other things I don't know because I don't have the right chart, but that is a grand trine between Jupiter, Venus, and her progressed sun, and even Pluto. Huge opportunity. And if you were concerned about traveling, this would be a great time to travel because with all that protection, you're in a good zone.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you
so
for
welcome.
calling.
I wish we had your exact time. I could have done so much more for you.
Well,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good night now.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Yeah, that was, when she said she didn't have the time, I threw out the cards and I said, well, this would be a piece of cake. And it wasn't.
Well, you just never know, do you? Yeah.
No, you don't. Well, let's see if we can do a little bit better here with Susanna here. Suzanne,
hi. Yes, my birthday is October 5th, 1960, and I'm pretty sure it's around 7:25 a.m.
Oh, I love it, an exact time.
Well, it can be a little off, but I'm pretty sure it's then.
Yeah, that's pretty close, though. And where were you born, Suzanne?
Huntington, New York.
Huntington?
Yes, Huntington, Long Island.
Okie dokie doke.
nice area.
Yeah, Long Island has so many beautiful areas.
It does.
I only have memories of Long Island. They're all fun. Okay, let's look. And what is it that you want me to focus on?
Well, I went on a job interview today. I didn't know if I got it or not. I'll find out in a couple of days. I'm looking for a job. I'm subbing now, but I can't keep doing that at all. I'm trying to stay in the field or something like the field, and about love life when you see a companion, a significant other coming in.
Okay. I like it. A woman who knows what she's looking for. Okay, well, we're looking at your midheaven has Cancer on it. You've got the water signs on all your work elements in your chart. So you may be a person who works with children or works with houses or homes or could even work
I work with children.
And so you do. Okay, well, that's appropriate. And let's see, activation of your moon. You were born with an Aries moon. That doesn't surprise me because I can tell by your voice you're someone who can get the word out there. You're not going to sit back in the back of the room. Moon in Aries usually likes to get out there. You like athletics in some form or other. It might be just watching. Could be from the couch. Being in the moon. So let's see if we've got any activation. That's in Aries, so this year is not the best year for making things happen. But nonetheless, Uranus has been traveling through that house, 7th house, which it's not usually a great planet to have in your house of relationships. That's the house of marriage or partnerships. Sometimes when it enters it, the person loses a relationship. But while it's in there, relationships tend to fluctuate. So if someone comes in, you could fall in love instantaneously. And with Aries on that cusp, it could be very fast. I would not ever, ever, ever recommend any of my clients ever go and get married under this combination. So
maybe next year. I mean, I'm not talking about the next 2 months. I didn't meet anybody.
No. I'm just saying I would wait till Uranus is no longer playing footsie with your part of fortune or your moon. So I'd look at it next year, but Uranus is a slow mover. I'd wait for it to go out of the sign. Nonetheless, that's my recommendation. And I'm just saying marriage. I mean, enjoy yourself and wait till it goes into the next sign if you're going to choose.
I just want to meet somebody.
Yes, okay. Well, that possibility, when Uranus is there, you could have a sudden experience, especially since you were born with the moon, with Uranus at 24 degrees of Leo. Right now, Uranus in retrograde, it's facing itself, so it's facing a trine. So you could end up meeting somebody, and it wouldn't surprise me at all how soon. Let's see where it stations. I'm just going to move it forward a little bit and see, because I don't know in my head where it's going to station. Normally I know these things, but right now I don't. Okay, so it stations on the 5th of January or thereabouts. Might be a few days before. It's actually the 2nd day of January. It will station at 24:34. So the day before that, I'd say go to a New Year's party. You could fall in love at a New Year's party. You could meet the man of your dreams at a New Year's party. You're certainly going to have good fortune. With Uranus on top of your part of fortune trining Uranus. Let's see if we have any hard aspects. Not really. You've got a grand trine active with Jupiter. Wow. This is good opportunity also for a partnership in the workplace for you to get maybe a job that you really want. It would be sudden, and it might even require a move. But
no, I can't move.
Okay. Well, then you won't want it. But who knows? You might be able to negotiate it.
No. The jobs I get, I don't have to move across state or any place. No, teacher aide, teacher assistant, monitor, no.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be. I thought you said you didn't want to be assistant anymore.
No, of course I can't be a teacher. I'm not certified.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a little bit too old to go get certified. I don't want to do that.
You do have a doorway opening at the beginning of the year, and that's going to give you something. A relationship, it'll give you a good time one way or the other. Let's see what else we've got going. We don't have any direct activation of that moon, and unfortunately everybody is in an aspect that's hard to that moon at this point in time, except for the moon itself, but that moves so rapidly it has very little meaning, and even Neptune has nothing to offer. So I'd like to say something that I could say that is a guarantee, but I just don't have it. You do have Mars at the midheaven, and when Jupiter activates that midheaven, it will do that. So let's go forward in time and see.
I just applied now. I have to work. So I'm saying I don't know if I got this one in November or.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's going to activate at the very same time that I just talked about, at the beginning of January. Jupiter is making a fabulous trine to your Mars and applying to your midheaven. There's a doorway of opportunity for money right then and there. And your progressed Mercury is right in the zone, so for teaching it couldn't be more appropriate. And Mars at that time is backing it all up. So I would say that if you're looking for a job, it probably is going to start right in the beginning of the year. A doorway opens up at that moment for money. I mean, Jupiter's in your money house this coming.
I just applied like a bus monitor yet today.
Well, that's a start, I suppose.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't want to wait till January.
Yeah, I wouldn't stop looking. I'd take anything that you can get now, but I would continue to look because coming the beginning of January, this is a nice doorway. It looks like an increase in money. So whatever it is you're making now, it looks like it's going to increase your money.
I'm
I'm
seeing
just
the same
subbing
thing.
now. I don't want to sub.
I'm seeing that I'm seeing it at the first of the year that there is permanence and there is abundance. So it feels as though at that time frame that she's talking about, there is something that brings in greater abundance, and it feels like it's a steady flow, and it does feel as though it is something that shifts and changes your perspective slightly. I think you're still going to be in the same area, but I think there is something a little bit different than you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Right now I'm just subbing. I can't live on that, so I applied for a bus monitor position today, and I didn't know if I was going to get it. That's what I meant.
If it comes through, it probably isn't going to come through until about the 19th of December.
Really? Oh my gosh. All right.
Where I see the doorway open for you to increase your income. At that point in time, the doorway opens, and I don't know if that's when you're offered the job, and then it actually begins on the 1st or 2nd of January, but. I don't know, the one that you're waiting on right now, I just don't see a lot of doorways opening up for it in the immediacy. So,
yeah, they needed people that, that's why they were looking now, that, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe you'll get it. Sometimes I will add this statement in terms of timing. First off, we don't know the exact time of your chart, so I am working based on that exact time. And if that time is off by a few minutes, it can actually screw up.
I guess I'll just, Okay. No, I guess I'll just pray to God that I get it.
Yeah, and we'll pray too.
Yeah.
Everybody listening, say a quick prayer too. So that way, give it a push. And a lot of the time, we as spiritual beings it's amazing how we can sometimes activate things sooner. So I never put that down as a possibility. It's always possible. I've seen people do stuff like that. So go for it.
All right.
Yeah, and both of us see you coming into abundance in the December time frame, and that's like only a couple of weeks away.
It is. It's not far down the road.
Yeah.
We're like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
What I mean, 4 weeks till the middle of December.
Yeah, I guess because I'm getting 5 in the morning to sub, and some days you work, some days you don't. That's why I like.
I can understand that. Well, let's keep our faith open for you and pray that you have what you need. But I am quite certain that come January, you're in a good position and will be for the minimum.
Do you see anything different with, I know you said about a man in January. Do you see anything with family or anything? Real quick.
Well, the issues with Uranus, again, activating your moon, that already happened, so that's past. You've got challenges with family at this point in time. I don't see it as anything easy right now. Pluto is actually...
Do you have any challenges with family?
Pluto is making a direct square to your moon, and if that isn't connecting to your mom, the moon usually represents the mom, but if the mom is not the issue, it can be the home, and that could just be issues of transformation in some way, a challenge for you to empower yourself in a way in terms of your relationships or your physical property.
Yes, I'm moving on Monday.
Well, That would do it. That's a transformation. So that's right in front of me. I mean, that's on the table. So
yeah, my son, yeah, he's only 16. I don't know if you, whatever. I don't know.
I know. I was looking at children. God bless you. Having to raise a child, 16 years old. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm 57.
You got more prayers from me now. Well, it's hard in this day and age to make a living and make sure your child has everything they need. Dear God, it's
And I'm single, looking for a man and a job and a home.
That. I have a sister who raised 2 children, 2 boys, and it never easy. But you got our prayers and you got our support on the inner, and you've got a good year. Hang in there, because you've got a good year coming up, and that year actually is more than 1 year. It's more like 18 months, because Jupiter will be going through your second house for about 18 months, and that's exciting. Anytime Jupiter's in our second house, just have to be careful not to overspend, because we don't have.
I started already. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay. Take good care of yourself. Blessings. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay. Don't you hate it when you know what they want to hear and it just isn't there?
I do hate it. I can't do it. I can't move the planets for anybody. And sometimes the things I have to say I don't want to say, but I have no choice. It's always worse not to know, in my opinion. It's always worse not to know, or you wouldn't ask the question,
No, that's true. Okay, we got Jenna here. Jenna?
Jenna.
Hello.
You're on. Hi.
Hello. Jenna?
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hi, this is Gina.
Gina.
Oh,
how are you? Yes.
Okay. What's your date of birth, Gina?
My date of birth is January the 8th, 1979.
1979. And do you know the time of birth?
8:18 a.m.
8:18 a.m. And your city of birth?
Dublin, Georgia.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you.
Dublin, Georgia.
Georgia?
Mhm.
My computer automatically went to Ireland. I think that's hysterical. It just automatically did it. I had to override it. I have a couple of clients in Ireland, but I had one who just contacted me. Okay, so let's take a look. What are you concerned about, or what do you want me to focus on?
Career, because right now I'm at a temp job that last week I was heard that I would be reducing to part-time hours, and it's so unheard of for admin, like office work, even though I'm in a hospital. So
have Scorpio
I'm just tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just tired of the temp jobs I've been having this whole year. So I just want something stable so I can, feel good about myself again.
You're
going through a whole lot.
You're going to be in a good spot. Your midheaven is Scorpio, which is a lot of the time that's people who work in the health field, especially. They could be anywhere from selling health supplies, surgical supplies, to working in a surgery area. And you have Capricorn rising. I know you're very strong managerial potential. At any rate, because you see the big picture, Jupiter is about to go over your midheaven, and when it does, your opportunity for a job opens up. Not only that, but Uranus is in your 10th house, which unfortunately can make your career go up and down your whole life.
Yes.
And keep it stable.
That's so true.
At the same time, there's a part of you that enjoys that because you like some variety in your work. So, but when Jupiter goes over that, you're looking at opportunity. So let's see if we can narrow a little bit more down. Even, wow, I'm really kind of surprised your progressed Mercury had a doorway a little bit ago, October the 11th or so, somewhere in there, and now they've cut you back. That's peculiar, because somebody was saying something very good about you at that point in time. Well, maybe that's going to be the key that brings it through for you when it goes over the midheaven. Let me bring it forward just a little bit and see if I can pull a little more information up for you, because here it is. December 14th, it's really getting tight. It's already a few days before that, it was already conjunct your progressed part of fortune. So some opportunity is going to open up. So let's see where Pluto and Mars are. you're great. I mean, your Mars is 20 degrees of Capricorn. Your Sun is 17 degrees of Capricorn. So Jupiter, even at 13 degrees, is already starting to apply to your Sun. And as it goes over the midheaven, you were born with the Sun making a beautiful sextile to your midheaven. So you should always have opportunity. Not surprising that you went into medical with Capricorn and Mars with your Sun. Yeah, this is not your first, as they say, not your first rodeo.
Right.
Past life experiences that brought you this. I mean, you have a lot of leadership qualities. You're a person who knows how to handle the details and give the work out to others, and you're good. So you've got more coming up for you. I would not be concerned or worried. It will change, and it will change for the better. Let me get a little more close to the date here. Here we go. It's right at the end of the year, December the 28th or so, right after Christmas. That's where it's actually hitting a very direct activation. Activation can be before that, though. I mean, you've got a whole 5 span, so activation could be before that. But like I said, I think there's somebody who has talked you up and is continuing to do so, and that's exciting. There are challenges even with this, because your progressed Mars and your progressed Sun are a little later in Aquarius, so you may be challenged, and the challenges here may be variables that you're not happy with, and maybe it's the time of day, maybe some kind of time change thing going on there, or maybe they're not keeping your schedule steady. It may be a variable schedule. Something's going on there that is you.
It is.
To make you happy.
Yes, I don't like the time, especially now they cut my hours. It's like from 11 to 4. I'm like, okay, but I pay for after school care. I can't afford that on 25 hours a week, coming from 38, 39 hours a week. I just cannot afford that. And then the pay is not that great. So that cut me down really big. And it's like, and I'm trying to get in touch with her, and the recruiter trying to get in touch with her too, but we're not having luck in reaching her. I just never been in a company like this. I just don't like it. Yeah,
it looks too variable for me. And even though you have Uranus at the midheaven here, so you tend to handle variables where other people would just throw their hands up in the air.
Exactly.
Do a good job because you were born with some of this activity. But, your progressed planets move at a rate of a degree every year. So you're getting this challenge now, but it's about to go away. Another year from now, it will be gone. So just hang in there, sweetie. It's not going to be there forever. It's progress that's causing the problem.
It seems like it's been there for a good while. Like, I know at least 3 or 4 years. So
well, it's always in the application when it's applying. But as soon as it gets past a certain degree, as soon as it gets past the issue, it's gone. It just kind of like disappears. But when it's applying, it can apply for 3 years. It can apply for 4 years sometimes.
Yes.
So hang in there. It's going to get better for you. I don't know. God bless you. And of course, it continues to move forward 2 years from now. Well, even a year and a half from now, it's going to activate in a way that's going to give you more stability. So hang in there. It's going in the right direction. Thank God I didn't have to do a year ago.
Yes, it was not much of happening.
God bless you. Take good care of you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
All right, and thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, we got Ellen here, I think. Hi, Ellen. You there?
Yes. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Michelle.
Huh?
This is Ellen.
Hi, Ellen. What's your date of birth?
May 26, 1956.
1956. And your time of birth?
3:30 p.m.
3:30 p.m. And the city of birth?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn. I knew you were going to say you were born in the boroughs. Okay. We grew up in, so my computer wants to know. I know it's Queens, so we can just put you in.
No, it's Kings County.
Kings County. Brooklyn's in Queens, but it's Kings County, yes. So Brooklyn Hospital will be acceptable for you then.
Okay.
All right, we're good. All right. And what do you want me to focus on?
Work, career change, but if something else jumps out at you, that's fine too.
Okay. So we have another pretty lady chart. You have Libra rising. Those Libras are always so pretty. The nice news is you have Jupiter going through your second house, like one of the ladies I spoke to earlier. And Jupiter is applying right now a trine to your midheaven. It will soon apply a trine to your part of fortune. So if you're looking for anything in terms of work right now, your doorway's open. You should be doing okay for money right now. Are you doing okay for money? You should be.
Okay, yes. Great, no. Let's move on to great. That's what I'd like.
Yeah, me too. Okay, God, you hear us? Put in my request. My sister's entering all the lotteries. All the free ones. She does all the free ones you can do on the internet. My sister can't let go of a penny. We're just that way. We were raised where money was so tight. You can't put a penny in a slot machine or a lottery ticket. But anyway. Coming up December 3rd, which is around the corner. We were just discussing how around the corner that is.
Yeah.
You've got a beautiful trine to your midheaven if we've got the correct time. So that's a doorway, an opportunity. Let's see where your progressed moon is. Your progressed moon is at 23 degrees of Pisces. So between December the 11th and probably August, September, October next year. Actually, March of next year, it will activate again. So you've got a couple of activations coming up. The first one is right here, December the 3rd. And then I'm going to move this forward so I can get it closer to an exact date for you. Here we go. At 21, it's activating your Mars and applying to your moon, and that's in February. But I think we've got a retrograde that's coming up right after that. So hang on. Let's see if its stations are real close, because that would be the marker. That would be a key marker, and a midpoint might just do it for us. And it's your workplace. Its stations, dang it, not exactly where I wanted it to station. But it stations at 2313 on March the 8th, so at that moment in time, you may be going, is this going to work out? Is this really what I want? Do I have enough money? I'm not as stable as I want to be. But then again, there may be an opportunity that I should be looking at, okay? So that's kind of what you'll be thinking around that period of time. But then what will happen as it continues to retrograde, you'll continue to mull over it all. And then when it goes back around, let's see here, by then your progressed moon has gone too far. Darn it, I hate when that happens. But I can't control it. So it's out of whack. But it does activate your Saturn. You are good at saving money, by the way. You're not like a lot of people, and this is a spiritual lesson for you from other lifetimes, because you were born with the Saturn at 29 degrees in your second house. So that tells me that in this lifetime you must master that, and you will. You've probably done it by now. But there is another moment in time where you may have to really push back on spending money, and that will be in October of 2018. But then what happens is Jupiter will go into the next sign, and when it does, it activates that moon again. So another opportunity will open up, and that opportunity starts right about November the 23rd of 2018, and will continue for a bit. Let me see how far I can take it. I'm really closing in. Okay. Right to about December the 4th of 2018. So that's another key time. So if you're not happy with where you're in or your job is, I would be looking to use these time frames to your benefit. So look for new places to put applications in or new kinds of jobs, because that's where your doorway of opportunity exists. Jupiter comes into our lives and it opens doorways of opportunity, but if we don't do anything, it can't do anything for us. So make sure you take advantage of those time frames I've given you.
I will.
Oh, and it's good because this looks like this is a definite go, by the way. As I just realized your progressed sun's at 5 degrees of Leo. You have got a grand trine active on December 4th, 2018. That is huge. Okay? Huge. That's a Jupiter Sun Moon grand trine. Moon rules your house of career. Jupiter rules your house of communication. If communication means somebody might call you, or you may also be doing communication in connection with what it is you do in career, and your sun progressed is in your house of career, and the sun is always about you, but in your chart it also rules your house of wishes and dreams, so this is a doorway for the sweet job you really want, the job you've always been wishing for. Get out there and look for it and make sure you're applying, because this doorway opens, once in a lifetime. There are no doorways like this that I can actually say, oh, well, you'll have 5 of them. No, I can't ever say that you'll ever have any. This is not one of those recurring doorways.
Okay, so that's December 2018, next year. I just want to make sure you didn't misspeak.
December 4th, 2018.
Okay.
Write down the right date. We took the time to do it. Of course, you can always listen to this again. We archive it.
No, because I realized that I'm wanting that opportunity in December. Well, I'm going to be getting my ducks in a row in November, October.
Okay. Well, you go for it, and that's the key. That's the key. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. Pay attention to the date so you're getting your ducks in the row right before. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And do you see a big move coming up, a geographic move in the near future?
Well, you've only got a certain amount of time for you to get that move. You've got this year, and Pluto is in that 4th house, so a major transformation of home, property, physical location. You may very well be moving. Activity for it, hang on. And we've got, Pluto to Pluto is happening for a lot of people in this age group, which is a nice thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a nice thing when we can't say too many things about Pluto, although it's stressful. But when it hits, let's see here, not helping there. But it is. Here we go. I just want to see if it'll happen before you get Saturn in that house. Let me go to a movement here and see if I can. Pluto moves so many directions and so often that if it is Pluto that activates this, once Saturn moves into this house, this 4th house of yours, your chance of moving is not high. And most people do not move when Saturn's in this house. We root down and stay there. So let me see here. We've got it at 20 on December 15th, 2018. And you have to make that move. You have to make that move before January 3rd, 2019. Otherwise, you will be in that location, wherever you are, on that date. You will be there probably for 2.5 years, maybe a little over 2.5 years. So make the move before then. Do I see a move? I haven't really. I could do more searching, but I don't see it immediately. It didn't jump out. The fact that you have Pluto going through this house is not an easy task. It means you have to transform in terms of property in some way. If it was a house that you were living in and permanently attached to, I'd say just start digging around the yard and plant lots of flowers, because you got to make Pluto happy. But otherwise, you really probably are going to look for a moment in time to move. Jupiter is not going to be helpful during this time. Saturn does not help anyone move. Saturn rules this house and doesn't do anything good for you there. Mars is the only one that we can depend on to give you some activity to push you along, and we could probably find where Mars is best for you if we have the time. I don't want to run out of time.
Yeah.
Sometimes this takes a little time to do, but let's see. Here we go. I think I might have found it. It would be in April of next year.
Okay.
Yep. April, Mars conjoins Pluto, and that would be a good combination to move under, because Mars and Pluto together, if they're making any hard aspects, they don't do good things when they make hard aspects. Mars and Pluto, and this isn't to scare you or anything, I just, for the reference point of those who will study astrology, when you put Mars and Pluto together in the fourth house, if they're making hard aspects to the ruler of that house, which they are not in your case, they could actually burn your house down or blow it up or all kinds of problems. So, but we don't have that, thank God. Give you a little fire under your butt and make you move. So I'd be looking around the middle to the end of April of this coming year.
Thank you so much, Michele, and thank you, Barbara.
You take care of yourself. Happy Thanksgiving.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, let's not blow anybody's house up or something here.
I know. Well, I had a terrible experience like that with Neptune, Saturn, and Pluto together.
Well, I had a fire.
Yeah,
so,
me too. I had to burn the house down.
I don't know who was in what house, but I know there was a fire in this house. We've got Pearl here. Hi, Pearl.
Pearl.
Hey, Barbara. Nice to hear from you or hear your voice.
Good to hear
when's your
from
birthday,
you too.
Pearl?
It's been a while. So, I guess Michele, my birthday is 10/27/60.
October.
And I was born
1960. Got it.
October 27th, 1960, and I was born at 9:54 p.m.
9:54 p.m. and the city?
The city, San Antonio.
San Antonio. I've always heard great things about San Antonio, though I've never been.
Home of the River City. We have a river going down the middle of downtown. Lots to do there.
Yeah, and I hear it's a real cultural city. I had friends when I lived in North Carolina years and years ago who went to San Antonio because they were invited to join the symphony there. They're probably still there.
Awesome.
Yeah. Been so
what
many
do they play?
The woman, I can't even think of her name right now. I mean, this is a long time ago. She's a violinist. She was an amazing violinist. And he was not in the symphony. He was an engineer. He used to do roads. He one day told me the story of how he complained about the roads in North Carolina because they had a problem with some guy who would go out and level them. He says when you create a road, you have to have it a little high in the center and it comes down just a little bit on the edges so the water runs off. And somebody was going out there and leveling his roads.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that hysterical? At any rate, it's very expensive for the taxpayer. So, So what am I focusing on, Pearl?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that question.
Well, you got some wonderful going on in your fifth house. You got Jupiter in there, you got the Sun in there right now, and Venus in there. Boy, this is a social time for you. I think it's a wonderful time for you. It should be really good. Jupiter is on top of, it's applying to your Neptune in that house. You have Scorpio on the cusp, so Scorpio is not the most creative, but they're very deep thinkers, and they're great detectives. So you might enjoy hobbies that involve puzzles or detective work or something like crosswords or something like that. But Jupiter in that house can give you opportunity to get out and discover more of the secrets, the underground.
Ooh, that's That's always tantalizing to me.
I'm telling you, I know that Scorpio says it. Oh, I love the mystery. And Jupiter on Neptune, you have the opportunity right now to find out more about the mystery, learn more about it, and if you have any interest whatsoever in hypnosis, this is a great time to learn it. Anyway, oh yeah, it'd be great for you to learn it now. Yeah, because your Neptune is 8 degrees and your progressed is 10 degrees, so Jupiter right now is at 7, so this next couple of weeks, if you have any interest, I would go for it because you'll absorb it while Jupiter is there. You become like a sponge. You can't learn better than when Jupiter is doing what you want it to.
Oh, so maybe it's a good time to do like mediumship training.
Oh, absolutely. Mediumship, absolutely. Anything that has to do with the psychic or the spiritual or anything that has to do with the secrets of power, which, of course, right now, you always had an interest in that, but right now there's even more opportunity to learn. And it's good for actually quite a while if you want to get into any kind of training because you were born with Mercury in retrograde, by the way, so you're one of those people who does even better during Mercury retrogrades. You should pay attention to them. They happen 3 times a year for about 3 weeks. Got one coming up on December the 2nd. At any rate, it's good to 24 degrees, and 24 degrees is most of the year, okay? Because Jupiter's going to go retrograde, so you're talking about from now until probably next year in September, October.
Oh, that's awesome. I love hearing that. How does all this affect, like, career and business?
Well, actually, it could affect it tremendously well because you're born with Mercury making a trine to your midheaven. Your midheaven is in Pisces, and Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. I know there are people listening who don't believe that because they think Neptune is, but Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces, so Jupiter making a trine to the midheaven says you could have an opportunity to take this learning and make it a career. So if you're interested in making a little switch over, and right now your progressed moon is also 21 degrees of Pisces, your midheaven is 26, so in 5 months' time, your progressed moon will have conjoined the midheaven. So during this next 5 months, it's like perfect. Suddenly you could be having a career out of your home or out of an environment that is like your home. And even Saturn is going to be helpful to you because Saturn is getting ready to move into Capricorn as of December the 20th, and as it does, it's going to keep applying and applying and applying for 2.5 years to that midheaven for about 2 years. It'll hit the midheaven about 2 years in a beautiful sextile, so it's going to give you more stability. So it's basically saying, I can grow this for the next 2 years. It's exciting.
Wow.
Very exciting.
I feel inspired. I don't know if I understand all
it should be,
because,
really like I said, some of these things I tell people, it's once in a lifetime. Actually, Jupiter did make this rendezvous, but it didn't have the support of Pluto. It did not have the support of Saturn, but it made this rendezvous 12 years ago.
Oh, that's kind of a long time.
Yep. You could go back to 12 years and say, what did I do with it the last time it visited? It certainly gives you opportunity and certainly can get networking. You could also get television promotion. When it gets to 26 degrees or 24 degrees, you have the ability to go through the internet or through television or radio. Pisces, the midheaven is usually radio, so you could do a show with Barbara. Or with someone else. Sorry, Barbara.
Endless possibility.
Well, there are endless possibilities. If we look at life that way, you can't help but have endless possibilities. You know? We are divine beings. We're creating and manifesting this dream, so go for it, you know? And now, of all times, I mean, Uranus right now is trine your Uranus. I mean, it is trine it. It is trine it really close, within 15 minutes, and applying. So opportunity to suddenly open a door or make a change in terms of career that can open up an excitement or a role that will give you fun and joy. That's the statement in your trine.
A role that will give you fun and joy. So can you
And
see career fields too?
Excuse me?
Can you see career fields too?
Career what? I'm not understanding you.
Fields. Fields.
Fields. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about them. What I'm talking about, your midheaven is the ruler of your house of career. Uranus is sitting in your house of career. Uranus is the ruler of your house of the internet and marketing, and Jupiter is the co-ruler in terms of it being the natural ruler. So you've got all kinds of activity that comes through the house of higher education, marketing, spirituality, and you could throw in legal procedure too, but I really don't see it as a reference point for you. So Pisces does not really have anything to do much of that. Although you may have had some experience with something in the legal field. You do have Sag on your 6th house. Sometimes it brings that in, but usually with this combination, it's teaching. It's all about teaching, and teaching can be a job that has nothing to do with children. Teaching can be adults. Teaching can be sharing information. Teaching can be mediation. Can be consulting. There's so many things that involve teaching. So people tend to narrow it, but it's a very wide open thing.
That's
wow. Well, we got to move on.
Okay.
Thank you, Barbara. That was amazing. Thank you, Michele.
You take good care of yourself. You should let us know how it goes.
Absolutely.
I will. I'm so
you.
inspired. I feel like writing a book.
And the 9th house is also the house of books, so Uranus is working it right now. That trine with Uranus, it's in retrograde right now, but it'll go forward and then it'll turn around. It'll probably come back. I didn't check to see if it would come back and hit exactly, but brings fame and fortune, so go for it.
Wow.
Woohoo! I see my name in lights, maybe. Thank you.
It might be lights on the internet, but then again, who knows?
Okay, that'll do.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Bye.
I like getting ones like that. That's cool. Okay,
yeah.
we've got Terry here.
Terry?
I think.
Sure.
Terry. Hi, Terry.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Terry. What's your date of birth?
My date of birth is 8/11/46. I'm an old one.
Not really.
Not really.
We're all old ones around here. You're joining the crowd.
Yeah.
What's your time of birth? Do you know, Terry?
I do. It's 12:50 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon.
Ooh, Michael's child. And where were you born?
Norwalk, Connecticut.
Norwalk.
And I'd like to know about a lawsuit that I've had going for a little over 2.5 years. If there's a chance of a settlement before the court date of March of 2018.
Okay.
I also want to know if I'll be successful in getting a full-time job in the new year. I'm working part-time right now, but it's really not getting me where I need to be. And I would also like to know if you see any possibilities of a lasting relationship with a good man before I croak.
You're asking for me to do in just a couple of minutes, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
I tend to be positive. So, first off, a lawsuit, you've got some issues there that I'm not sure that we can find a way out of. You said before March. And
well, there's a court date set up for March, but
yeah.
we did go to arbitration in September, and the point of that being they don't want court cases. They would rather the side arbitrate.
A lot of money arbitrating and a lot of time and money. But unfortunately, I don't have any really good signatures on here for you. Your progressed moon, the moon rules this house of legal procedure, and you were born with Saturn up there and Pluto up there, and both of them in Leo, and the progressed moon is in Virgo, and even through March it's still in Virgo. So we don't have any nice combination from the moon. Looking at Jupiter, who's the natural ruler there, to see what is Jupiter doing for you. Unfortunately, to Leo, Jupiter's in Scorpio, and even your progressed Jupiter's in Scorpio. The only advantage you might have had was that Jupiter natally is in Libra. But even in Libra, it works with your sun. So I will say this. You have Chiron at 18 degrees and a sextile to your sun that you were born with. If we could get a trine going to that, we could have a doorway. But I don't have any of the significators who could do that, because everybody that's heavy is not in any position to do that. Let's see if the sun. Don't usually get the sun to do much of anything, because it works so fast. You need somebody like Mars. Mars, of course, at this point in time is usually in Sag. Let me come back to December, see if we can get Mars to do anything. December, it's in Scorpio, no help there. But, let's see here. In February, it does go into Sag, and in Sag, actually, we might be able to get it even sooner. Let me do the few days on this and see if I can get it to 1 degree. Because your natal is at 1 degree. So, applying at 1 degree, we have January the 27th. So sometime between January 27th and 28th. I don't know what days of the week those are. I don't have that on my screen. That is the best opportunity you have. Was while that is active, you could end up with the outcome that you're looking for, because you were born with an opportunity. The Jupiter-Sun combination that you were born with says that because of the good things you did in a past life, you were some kind of a mediator yourself in a past life. Matter of fact, you were a master mediator in a past life, a master at it. Because of that, you have a connection to judges. The sun is right at the midheaven in your chart, which says with that sextile that you normally would get judgments in your favor, because the judge will find in your favor because there's something about your energy field that they recognize. So they recognize you as being the honest one. And Chiron, exactly 18, sextile that. So you tend to attract judges that are part of your soul family, which is a very unusual thing. So that's a real plus. I mean, you got that for you. But the only date that I really have that can push this to you is right in that zone, 27th, 28th of January. So if there's anything you can do to activate an outcome at that time, I would push for it. Okay. That's your best time frame.
But if she doesn't, I'm seeing her signing legal pay. I'm seeing a positive outcome, but the finality of it being next September.
That might, because if I push it further along, I could probably come up with something. But anything up to March, I don't have it. This is it. This is the date up to March. After that, I don't have a whole lot going for it.
I think you want to go to court. I think you really need to go to court.
Well, like I said, we did meet with an arbitrator in September. The courts do not want smaller cases clogging up the calendar, so it's mandatory in Connecticut. The arbitrator has 4 months to reach his decision about an amount. It is not binding on either side, which means if I don't like it, I can say no. If they don't like it, they can say no. And then, of course, the court date is March of 2018 if we can't come to a settlement before that. Now, when we went to arbitration, the arbitrator told my attorney to ask me to come in to where they were arbitrating and explain what happened to me, and I did. And I said I had stem cell replacement surgery on my knee for my injury. And he said, "You did?" He said, "My wife went with the surgery, and she is not yet healed." And that was a year ago. He said,
Wow.
"You made a good move." So I was very happy that the judge had a similar situation.
Yeah.
And he understood the treatment that I had.
Yeah.
But like I say,
that you drew it in just as I said you would. So
yeah. He was very interested in the fact that I went with the stem cell replacement therapy rather than the arthroscopic.
Mm.
And I do have a part-time job, but like I said, it's not. I need a full-time job. I can't continue. Well, I have to. Half a loaf is better than no loaf, but I really would like something full-time in the new year.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily see that really because it's just you're in a zone that's just not the best zone for you. See if there's something that I'm missing maybe, because what you have, your areas of rulership are air and fire in terms of career, and right now the planets, they're in water and earth, so they're not helpful at all. And until Jupiter goes into the next sign, and when it does, I guarantee you're going to have a job, because Jupiter is going to go into your second house, the house of money, which it naturally rules in your chart, and it is going to conjoin the South Node and trine your Sun, and I guarantee you will have a job. But that
when does that happen?
That's late next year. Well, I shouldn't say that because it does go forward and then retrograde. So let me just see if there's anything that I've missed. We're looking at November, December. Yeah, I thought it was late next year. It's late next year. The first it actually happens will be applying. That's kind of a wide orb too, but sometimes we can make those wide orbs work. But rather than give you such a wide orb, I'm going to narrow it down a little, because I'd rather be accurate and not have you get excited about something that isn't quite there. Here is still a wide orb. This is a good 6 degrees, which is more than most astrologers would ever apply, but it's 4 degrees to the midheaven, and it is really applying directly to your progressed part of fortune and directly to your South Node. So I'm going to give you this date. It's January 3rd, 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not around the corner, but from that moment forward, for quite a while, you have really good money coming in.
Okay.
And that should be exciting to you, and then hopefully it will stabilize.
Right.
And you still, there is still a certain amount of stress, because Saturn makes what we call a quincunx action, not immediately, but within probably 6 months to your midheaven. So you may be reassessing and reorganizing and somewhat stressing over all of it. Maybe you'll be needing to do something else. Saturn in your chart, let's see what it is. It's really your house of communication, so that's good. I mean, it's not your body, but it is also the ruler of your house of home. So you may be reassessing your home and the stability of your home, and am I making really enough money to do something that I might want to do to my home? There's something going on there. So, but that will pass. That's not going to stay there. It'll pass. It'll be gone shortly thereafter. So, but I'd say, as you start making money, wherever you can save it, because Jupiter, having Sagittarius on the house cusp, does not make you a person who knows how to put it away really well.
True.
Spend it on learning. You spend it on doing outgoing things. You may spend it on travel. You may spend spiritual stuff. But I would recommend that during this time of Jupiter going through this house, please take a percentage, as much a percentage as you can, and put it somewhere where you really don't touch it. Because after Jupiter gets through this house, it will make a quincunx to your sun, and that's going to cause stress too. So you've got a good year, use it. But save your money and don't just blatantly spend it, because there are some times that come up after that where you're kind of like going back and forth. Am I doing the right thing? Do I have enough? And I'd rather you don't go through those periods without having a little safety net, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'd recommend that. But, it'll come around again. It'll get past all of this. Once Jupiter gets into your 4th house, who knows what you'll do. You might decide to get a second home. Or
I don't even have a first one.
Then that might be your first one.
Yeah, well, I was hoping with the lawsuit I would be able to put something down on owning rather than paying an exorbitant amount of rent each month.
Well, you may well. You may just have to. You may well, but you may just have to wait a little longer for it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Story of my life. Take a number and wait. You with this lawsuit, I feel like I'm an airplane circling the airport and they won't let me land, and I can't do anything till I get my feet on the ground.
Yeah. Well, we go through periods like that. We do in life, and you just, the spiritual beings always tell me when I go through one of those periods, enjoy it. They say to me, and I say, how can I enjoy it when I like standing on a pin and a needle and I'm not sure which way I'm going? And they say, it is the present moment.
Yeah.
Play in it. Have fun in it. Laugh in it, because there's nothing you can do.
Be creative in it, because the more creative you are, the faster things happen.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that you have to, go out and take art lessons or anything like that. It can be as simple as getting an adult coloring book and coloring.
Oh, you must have read my mind. I must have at least 25 of them.
Yeah, but you're not doing anything.
And I color all the time.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Then you should color more, because it's a meditation, and it will help move things along.
Yeah, I color every day. And what about my love life?
You were born with a blank space there, so I don't know what you're going to decide you want to do with it. But again,
I would just like to meet
someone,
a nice person
to share your world,
to share the love I have to give.
Jupiter has the ability to activate this house cusp, and Jupiter is the ruler of this house, so you have opportunities coming up. And let me just back everything up, because I went so far forward. I'm out of time. I'm in a year later. Let's go back to where we are in time, at least closer to it anyway. Because as Jupiter activates that house cusp, your house cusp is at 19 degrees. So let me tell you, it starts, and it will be a really good point in time, because Mars and Jupiter together are activating Mars and Mercury progressed in your chart on January the 4th, 2018, and they will continue to act for a little bit there. So I would make good use of that time. If there are parties to go. I know you're not really outgoing that way, but nonetheless, maybe it's just a gathering with some friends who know friends. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, it's not that I'm not outgoing. I'm very outgoing with people that I'm familiar with.
And are comfortable with.
Yeah.
I know.
But I don't mind meeting new people.
Yeah,
and I can usually tell in the first 5 minutes whether it's someone I would want to continue a friendship with or not, whether it be, a girlfriend type relationship or a love relationship with a man.
Well, you have activation from whatever I said that date was till the 9th of January. That is activation during that period in time. That's a doorway at that time that I would make sure you make use of. That doorway does not become active again for. It won't be the same doorway, but the next spot of activity would be when, let's see, around March, the beginning of March 10th through 12th or somewhere right in there. The sun is traveling then through the 5th. Well, it's actually activating the sun, and but they're not activating your natal sun in any way. They're just going through that house. So there's possibilities. I'd say it's very weak. The real activity comes the following year when it activates your sun, which is the natural ruler of that house, and it's the same time I probably gave you for income.
Right.
Yeah.
The same time, in early February of 2019 or late January of 2019, that period in time. Actually, when Jupiter hits 17 degrees, when it hits 17 degrees, you could end up meeting someone from a past life, and that would be a very comfortable meeting, and it would be someone who you have similar outlooks. You would be people who spend money the same way. You have interest in the same kind of education or spirituality or outlook or travel. You'd make great travel buddies. Someone who you have been connected with in a past life and were very good friends. It could be someone who in a past life they were your father, and that might be a father, not so much a father like biological, but a father who was like they were your teacher, they were your priest, they were your guru, that kind of father. More patriarchal person who in this lifetime you're more an equal with. So that's where the real opportunity begins, and that starts around January 20th or 23rd of 2019.
Okay, yeah, so mark your calendar, and
I did.
Keep us posted on how it goes.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You
Good night
take care.
Good night.
Okay. Boy, they're tough ones tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, you can't always get what you want to, as they say in the song. But if you try, you may find you get what you need.
Always you get what you need. It's so much, so not anticipating, what is it? If you don't expect anything, you're always surprised.
Yes. Well, that's what the spiritual beings have tried to teach me for years and years and years. Have no expectations. All things shall be given unto you. That's what they tell me.
Well, let's see if we can enlighten Maddie some.
Okay.
Hi, Maddie.
Hi. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Michelle.
Hi. And your date of birth, Maddie?
My date of birth is 1/7/45, and the time is 6:49, 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
PM. And the place is Cuthbert, Georgia.
I didn't catch the name of the city.
Cuthbert, Cuthbert.
Okay.
Georgia.
So make sure I got it right because you were quick. January 7th, 1945, 6:49 p.m., Cuthbert, Georgia.
Yes.
Got it? Okay, because I don't want to read the wrong chart. Yeah, nothing worse than that.
No.
Okay, so Maddie, what is it you want me to look at and see if I've got anything left to give here?
I want to say to you that those 20 seconds mean anything?
Do 20 seconds mean anything?
She gave you the time down to the second.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not going to be that much of a difference.
That's not going to be that much of a difference. Okay. Well, I want to know about travel.
Oh, travel.
I have travel on my mind. Travel.
Travel is a Jupiter statement, so let's see what Jupiter is doing. You have a lot of lovely hair. You have lovely hair. Let's see, where is L Jupiter? Jupiter's at 7 Scorp, and you have a 19-degree Pisces. Oh, yeah, you could be doing some traveling, especially with the sun right now at 22. This is good traveling time for you. But better time comes a little bit later after the beginning of the year. So let me give you dates.
Okay.
Starting, actually could start a little bit before this, so I'm going to just throw a couple of days early. I'm going to say January the 10th to January 14th. At that point in time, opportunity for travel may open up, and that would be a good travel time for you. It's like, I've got to get away from my home is what's going on right now. And Jupiter's traveling through your 4th house, and when it travels through your 4th house, you either want to take a trip or you need to expand your home, and most of us don't have the money to expand. Some people do go out and get audio-visual equipment or a bigger TV, a bigger computer, those things, when we have Jupiter going through this house, and that makes us feel we've expanded. But while it's going through there, either learning something new or delving into something we don't know about can help. But once it gets to about the 10th or so of January, opportunity for travel could open up for you, and that would be when I would start looking at it. Let's see what else. And, of course, you've got your progressed sun at 0, it's 1 degree of Aries. By a year down the road, it'll be 2 degrees of Aries, and Jupiter will be trining in it. At that point in time, you will probably be traveling or have to travel or be doing something else. Whatever you do at that point, that could involve travel, the internet, it could involve anything legal, it could involve some kind of learning experience that might be in a faraway place, and it could involve even an opportunity to make money through travel or by going to a foreign place or through any of the vehicles I just mentioned. That doorway opens, and it's a very exciting doorway. It has never been in your chart before, ever in the history of your life, in this life. So it's coming up, and that's pretty darn bananas great, I think. So I'm going to tell you approximately when that is so I can get it more exact. I have to go forward a little bit and then come back a little bit. We do a lot of going forward and backward on this computer because time can be really moldable while I'm doing this. I move the planets around according to the dates. So looking at that, here it is in its approach. So November the 15th, 2018, zip, that's a time frame. And you can bet a week before that or even 2 weeks before that you could be feeling it. But if you have thought about taking some other education, if you've thought about taking a trip that might be to your father's country or taking a trip to a place that you feel is where you come from or where you've always wanted to go to be more athletic or to get out and about or to experience something that might be more outgoing than normal. Let me put it that way.
Wow.
Your time.
That's around this time next year. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. About a year away, actually. November 15th. I would definitely be planning a trip at that time because that's a great time for you to take a trip. You will have tremendous success, and if you're looking for any kind of new job, this would be a time where you could actually get one that might be something that involves travel or involves social groups or involves connecting or networking people on the internet or could involve marketing in some way, or there's so many potentials here because the 9th house is huge and the 5th house is huge, and both of them are very creative. They could be spiritual. They're both outgoing, but these are fire signs, which means creative energy, very outgoing energy, being seen, and connecting others. So it's quite a combination. So that's what I'd be looking at. It's also an opportunity for you to possibly meet somebody if you want to meet somebody, because the 5th house is also the house of falling in love, and all the things that we love are in that house, and that's why I could be taking your hobby and making it your business. But it also indicates that if you did connect with somebody, they'd probably be somebody who would increase your income. So it's not going to be a who takes from you, but it would be a guy who would be very supportive of you. So,
I love that.
Yeah, me too. It's the way to go, babe.
That's what everybody was waiting for, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, like I said, these things don't even happen in everybody's charts, so this is a once-in-a-lifetime combination. The progressed sun being in the 9th house, we can't manufacture this stuff. Soul does the manufacturing, and you are the soul who did it. I just read it.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, we have to move on, Maddie. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, Maddie. Great trip when you go. I know you will.
Amazing. Okay, we've got Judy here.
Hi,
Judy.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. What's your date of birth, Judy?
My birthday is September 11th, 1972.
11th, 1972. Okay, and time?
11:59 p.m.
Wow. You almost didn't know your birthday.
Oh, I mean 12:59 p.m. I'm sorry.
You really, you barely know your birthday. Okay. And where were you born?
LaGrange, Illinois.
LaGrange. Okay. I don't know why my computer decided that would not work. Maybe I spelled LaGrange wrong. Is LaGrange L-E or L-A? It must be L-E, huh?
It's L-A with a space.
I thought it was L-A. That's what I put in there. My computer said, no, we don't think so. Hang on, makes me have to do extra work. My computer's refusing.
She said there's a space.
Yeah, I put the space in, but for some reason it just didn't recognize it. I don't know why. I know it's a big town. Okay, it turns out this is probably why, because God wanted me to see that there are 2 LaGranges in Illinois. One's in Cook County and one's in Brown. You're Cook County, right?
Cook County, yes.
I figured that. Okie dokie. Now we're in the right place. All right, now, so what did you want to look at?
Well, I would like to be original, but like so many other callers, I've been really interested in career. I have been actively trying to apply to some specific jobs in my related industry, and even though I make referral lists, I just keep getting passed over, kind of been in a rut and going nowhere for about 2 years, and wondering when I'm going to have some movement and move up the career ladder.
Wow, 2 years? Really?
Yeah, actually a little longer than 2 years now that I've been actively trying.
You should have had Jupiter on your sun 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And that should have brought you an opportunity for sure. So what is causing the problem? Let's see if I can see what the issue is. I mean, I know Saturn has been in Sag, and that has not helped you at all. The good news is it's leaving, okay? Saturn has been actually causing all kinds of issues for quite a while. It's been in Sag now for more than 2 years. So And ever since it got in, it started to begin to cause you problems. So it's now a 26 Sag, and so has just activated your Venus, but it is passing your Venus now, your progressed Venus, and soon it will make a square to Pluto. I don't like that, but let's see. I mean, it'll be a little while before Jupiter can activate that midheaven and activate your Venus, but when it does, you should have something, unless somebody else is playing a game that I'm not seeing. So let me just kind of move you forward, because it's not going to activate till late next year, or around this time next year. Here we go. 22 degrees it starts, and that's coming from your 12th house with Jupiter in the 12th. It's kind of interesting, because that's an indicative that the opportunity that could open up in terms of career may very well be something that you have done in a past life, or that's connected to a past life. But when you absolutely look like you will snag whatever it is you've been after, Jupiter goes retrograde and messes you up. Oh, I hate that. But that's okay, because he's got to come back. Nothing's retrograde forever. Sometimes my brain feels like it. But, okay, so here we go. Here's your time frame. Here is the good stuff. Let me, right here, October 21st, 2018. Saturn is out of the way. It is challenging Pluto a little bit, but it's actually past Pluto. And let's see, Pluto itself is supporting your Mars. No, it's not. Did I say that? I take it back. I always want to see something good. But no, Pluto's actually not supporting Mars, but it is past Mars. And so both are basically what we would say out of the way. So Jupiter should have its way at this point. And even Venus, even though she's retrograde, she is actively connecting in terms of constellation, not in terms of aspect. Oh, I take it back. She is even actively connecting with your moon. Nice. So, your moon, where's the rulership? Oh, there we go. Your moon is, here we go, 8th house. So here the statement is this. Opportunity comes from a past life as a connection. It may have to do with a kind of, almost like the word inheritance is in here. It's kind of a peculiar inheritance, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's like somebody dies and leaves you something. It means instead, from a past life, somebody promised you something and you will now receive it. So it's a peculiar kind of statement, and it's the statement is that it is father in the past life, a father and mother actually in a past life. This is a very interesting, unusual statement. At any this is your time frame, because Jupiter will activate Venus, and let's see where, and it activates directly on your progressed Mercury, who rules your house of career. You should have what you're looking for at this point in time, and is definitely coming from a past life experience. Maybe earlier in this life experience as well, but statement is past life. So I would I'd pretty much pin a hat on that, or pin a tail on that, or something. Any other questions?
Okay, so there's not going to be any movement out of my current job for at least another year?
I would not. I'm not saying you won't leave it. I'm just saying you were looking for something to open up for you, and this is the opening up. Okay. Sometimes there could be statements in between where the stress is enough that you say, I want out, and you walk away. That will be your choice, and I did not look for those. But as it stands, if you're staying in, waiting, and applying, this is where your doorway opens.
Okay. Any cross-country moves or anything that could be coming in the future?
Okay, let's look at that. That's an interesting question because Jupiter rules your 4th house as well as the house of your physical property. And let's see. Property movement. Yeah, that could happen right before this, actually, because that house cusp is 22 degrees. Let's see where Jupiter is. And it's not helpful with your native Jupiter, so you'd have to do it outside of that activity. So I would say that just before this is possible, and let me tell you how just before, hang on. Right here, this time zone. And when I give you this time zone, it can be before that, like a week or so before. But the time zone there is September 30th, 2018.
Okay.
So that would be a time where there is a possibility that you decide to move. And if you did, you might move to a place you've been before. Or you might move to a place that you have a connection with through a past life.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me at all because right now, and during this period of time, not right now, but during this period of time, Chiron is traveling through your house of property, your home of residence. And actually, it's in retrograde. It moves in retrograde. So it's been traveling through there for a while, and you were born with it there as well. But when it's traveling, at this point in time, it's at 29 degrees, which, again, is what we call a critical degree in astrology. So it's at this moment in time that your soul family could be calling you. And it's like, are you coming? It's time for you to make the change. It's time for you to come be with us. That's the statement. And it's interesting because at this moment in time, Jupiter is at 22 degrees, another master number. That's a master number, not a critical one, but a master number. And your nadir, the cusp of your 4th house, the cusp of your house of physical property, is also 22 degrees. And those are master numbers. So it's saying, I will master the dream state in this lifetime. I will master my connections through the spiritual or the dream state to the physical property where I belong.
Okay.
So you've got some real cohesive stuff. It's not surprising you asked that question because Chiron in your chart has been calling you for a while.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
You are
so well.
At this point in time, your progressed moon and your south node are coming together. So, yeah, another statement. The home of my mother, the home of my roots, the home, the inheritance of my family. Interesting. Well,
yeah.
Let's see how that all turns out. We all have such unique.
Yes.
Well, good fortune to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for calling, Judy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bring forth such fascinating information and insight for everybody that you read. It's phenomenal. And
well, you never know what's going to be in the chart. Everybody's so unique. Isn't it fascinating?
It's terribly fascinating, but the coolest thing is that even though they ask a specific question, you're able to give them other information as well that is in many cases probably far more important to their development and their ongoing physical reality and stuff like that. It's just phenomenal. What fascinates me is you talk about, people's hair and, where does that come in a chart that, you have great hair or, some of the things you've said tonight, I sat back and I said, now how in the blue blazes did she ever come up with that?
Oh, God, it's all in the chart, The ascendant tells us what a person looks like. Most people think the ascendant's all about you and how it is actually how do people see you and what do you look like? That's what it is. the ascendant is the first house cusp. It's the moment that you were born. That second where you made that sit out of the canal and said, "I'm here, everybody, look at me," and everybody did, and so your ascendant tells us all about what you look like. And if you have Aries on that cusp, you probably have an extra large head when you were born. You may still have a pretty large head, and you will more than likely have red highlights or red hair. Not everybody even has a family that can have red hair, but the highlights will not be noticeable. There'll be some red in there. So the ascendant tells us all kinds of things. It depends on what the ascendant is, and it depends on who's in that house. We can have, somebody in that house who's really skinny and agile like Gemini, and yet maybe the ascendant is still is Taurus. So they're going to have a short neck, but they'll still be very able to move in ways that Taurus normally doesn't move. So all kinds of things. It just depends.
You are an amazing example of what decades and decades and decades and decades of study can produce. Astrology is not something you casually get into. It's something you commit a lifetime of study to. But when you do, the kind of information you get and can share with people is just phenomenal.
Yeah, well, knowing these kinds of things really helps when a person doesn't know their time of birth, because we have to be able to identify it to be able to give them the good information. I truly wished I'd had more time with, I think it was Marie from Palermo. But she didn't have a time of birth, and I couldn't give her all that I wanted to give her. And so we have to, normally I would work with her to kind of get the chart rectified, and if you don't have the information in your head, you can't really rectify a chart. So. Well,
that's, I think one of the, I think it's truly a gift that you give all of us in doing these shows where we do quickies as best we can. And there are so many people that we just didn't get to tonight that it breaks my heart. But we can only crank so much as far as this goes. You want to give people something. And you don't want to cheat people by saying, oh, sorry, that's it, and so there has to be. Yeah.
It's not my nature, and it's not yours either. So unfortunately, we have to do what we can do.
Yeah, and you're so gracious to come once a month and avail yourself to them. And the number of people that were lined up here is just phenomenal. And I do apologize for those that we didn't get to, but we did the best we could with the time that we had. So I guess it's a lesson. Michele is here once a month, not always on the same date, but usually at the same time. We just have to get her used to that. And the fact that you're in a different time zone than I am can be confusing. but that you share your gifts and your talents so generously with everybody. It's amazing. And I just will ask everybody that didn't get on tonight, please, next time you see that she's going to be on, and you can check my website out for when her next visit is. And what's your website, Michele?
Astrology and more, or just micheleavanti.com, but just make sure you put only one L in Michele, or you'll get the wrong person, and you'll get somebody who, you don't really want to get that one. So astrologyandmore.com, just write it out, astrologyandmore@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah. The next show, did we book it? We did. So the next one is December the 12th.
Okay.
And I'm going to change the time because I had the wrong time on here. That's why I wasn't ready for you. It's a darn good thing, but I'm going to change the time on all of them.
Okay, good. Well, we will look forward to seeing you back here on the 12th of December. And again, I am so grateful that you do this because I learned so much. I'm taking notes here on the different houses and stuff like that to add to the stuff I have on my website on the astrology houses, because I never knew the 5th house was the house of falling in love.
Oh, yeah. It's the house of everything we love, from people to things. All our hobbies are in that house, you know. So when I saw Scorpio on that cusp, and I was talking to, I don't know which lady it was, but I knew she loves mysteries and detective stories and all that kind of.
How very cool.
And whatnot. So.
Well, we are out of time, but thank you so much. I so appreciate your rushing your dog feeding up so you could be here on the phone, and and I look forward to December the 12th.
All right, me too. You have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and good Thanksgiving to everyone.
Absolutely, you too. Good night now.
Good night.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We look forward to talking to you and hearing from you, and hopefully we can get to more of you next time. Good night now.